Deep in the cold, silent vacuum of space, something is happening that defies every law of physics we currently understand. For decades, we have looked at the stars and assumed that the universe follows a predictable, clockwork logic. Gravity pulls, light travels, and celestial bodies drift according to the math laid out by Newton and Einstein. But right now, out in the dark reaches of our solar system and beyond, there are objects and anomalies moving toward us, or moving around us, that simply shouldn't exist. Scientists are checking their calculations, recalibrating their most powerful telescopes, and whispering in shaded rooms because they have encountered something they cannot explain. We are talking about massive structures that shouldn't be there, signals that repeat with terrifying precision, and an interloper from another star system that behaved less like a rock and more like a scout. Today, we are going to look at the most chilling mysteries of deep space, the things that are moving toward Earth right now, and why the world's leading orbits experts are currently at a total loss for words. To understand the scale of what we are dealing with, we have to talk about Oumuamua. You probably remember the headlines from a few years ago, but the mystery hasn't gone away. If anything, it has only deepened as the data has been analyzed. Oumuamua was the first interstellar object ever detected passing through our solar system. It didn't come from our sun's neighborhood, it came from somewhere else. But it wasn't just its origin that baffled astronomers. It was its behavior. As it swung around the sun and began its journey back out into the void, it sped up. Now in space, things don't just speed up on their own, unless they are a comet outgassing or they are using some kind of propulsion. Astronomers looked for a comet's tail, the signature cloud of dust and gas that pushes a comet forward like a rocket engine. They found nothing. There was no dust, no gas, no trail. Avi Loeb, a top-tier professor at Harvard, suggested something that sent shockwaves through the scientific community. He posited that Oumuamua wasn't a rock at all, but potentially an ultra-thin light sail, a piece of technology designed to be pushed by stellar radiation. The object was flat, unusually shiny, and tumbling in a way that defied standard asteroid models. Even though it is now moving away from us, it left behind a haunting question. If that was a probe or a piece of ancient technology, who sent it, and what did it see when it looked at Earth? But Oumuamua was just the beginning. Right now, there is a second interstellar visitor, and others that we are only just beginning to track, moving into our neighborhood with trajectories that don't match anything we've seen in billions of years of local history. But let's move further out, to something even more massive and more baffling. Astronomers have been tracking a phenomenon known as the Great Attractor. Deep in intergalactic space, something is pulling our entire galaxy, the Milky Way, and thousands of other galaxies toward it at a speed of about 1.4 million miles per hour. We are currently hurtling toward a specific point in space, and here's the kicker. We can't see what it is. It lies in the zone of avoidance, an area obscured by the thick dust and gas of our own galaxy's disk. We know something is there because of its immense gravitational pull, a mass so gargantuan that it dwarfs everything in our local supercluster. Is it a massive concentration of dark matter? Is it a supercluster of galaxies hidden from view? Or is it something else entirely, a structural anomaly in the fabric of the universe that we haven't even named yet? We are moving toward it right now, and every second brings us closer to a gravitational mystery that could redefine our place in the cosmos. Closer to home, within our own solar system, there is the mystery of Planet 9. For years, scientists noticed that the objects in the Kuiper Belt, the icy graveyard of rocks out past Neptune, were behaving very strangely. Their orbits were bunched together, tilted in a way that suggests they are being shepherded by a massive, unseen weight. Something about 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth is lurking in the outer fringes of our system. It is so far away that it reflects almost no sunlight, making it nearly invisible to our current telescopes. Some theories suggest it isn't even a planet, but a primordial black hole the size of a grapefruit, left over from the very beginning of the universe, captured by our sun's gravity. If it is a black hole, it is drawing matter toward it right now, acting as a silent, dark sentinel on the edge of our world. We are sending out the James Webb Space Telescope and new ground-based surveys to find it. But for now, we just feel its ghost-like tug on the objects around us. Now let's talk about the signals. Fast radio bursts, or FRBs. These are high-energy pulses of radio waves that last only milliseconds, but release as much energy as the sun does in a year. For a long time, we thought these were one-off events, perhaps from a star collapsing or a collision. But recently, we discovered repeating FRBs. One in particular, coming from a galaxy 500 million light-years away, repeats on a strict 16-day cycle. It is moving through our sensors with the reliability of a lighthouse. Natural phenomena usually aren't this rhythmic. When something repeats with that kind of precision, scientists start looking at extreme magnetic stars called magnetars, but even those models struggle to explain the intensity and the timing. Some researchers have gone on the record saying we cannot rule out an artificial origin, a beacon, a communication array, or the exhaust of a massive interstellar engine. Whatever it is, the waves are hitting Earth right now, carrying a code or a signature that we are desperately trying to crack. But perhaps the most unnerving moving object isn't a planet or a signal, but a void. There is a region of space known as the Buta's Void, often called the Great Nothing. It is a massive expanse of space, 330 million light-years in diameter, that contains almost no galaxies. By all accounts of how the universe formed, there should be thousands of galaxies there. Instead, there are only a handful. Some astronomers have proposed a terrifyingly advanced theory, the Kardashev scale. This scale measures a civilization's advancement by its energy consumption. A Type 3 civilization would be able to harness the energy of an entire galaxy. Some have speculated that the Buta's void isn't empty because of a natural fluke, but because it is being expanded or harvested by a civilization so advanced they are literally cloaking or utilizing the light of entire star systems. If this void is expanding, it is moving through the cosmic neighborhood, essentially erasing the visible universe as it goes. It is a slow, silent expansion that challenges everything we know about the distribution of matter. Let's bring it back to our immediate vicinity. Astronomers have recently discovered ghostly objects orbiting the center of our galaxy. These are called G objects. They look like clouds of gas but behave like stars. When they get close to the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way, they stretch out into long, thin shapes, but they don't get torn apart. Once they pass the danger zone, they snap back into a compact, round shape. This shouldn't happen. Gas clouds should be shredded by the black hole's gravity. The current explanation is that these are binary stars, two stars orbiting each other, that have been forced to merge into one giant, bloated star covered in a thick shroud of dust. There are dozens of these objects moving through the heart of our galaxy right now, and they represent a phase of stellar evolution we never saw coming. They are like armored ships navigating a gravitational hurricane, and they are changing our understanding of how stars survive in extreme environments. And then there is the Oort cloud mystery. Encircling our solar system is a vast shell of icy debris beyond the orbit of Pluto. Every once in a while, something nudges these rocks, sending them hurtling toward the inner solar system as comets. Usually we blame passing stars or the galactic tide. But lately, the frequency of these nudges has led some scientists to revisit the nemesis theory. The idea is that our sun has a tiny, dim companion star, a brown dwarf or a red dwarf, that orbits so far away it has never been seen. As it moves through its long, elliptical orbit, it periodically passes through the Oort cloud, triggering a rain of comets toward Earth. This companion would be moving toward its closest approach right now. While many have dismissed this idea, the weirdly rhythmic nature of certain extinction events in Earth's history keeps the theory alive in the fringes of the scientific community. Let's talk about the space roar. In 2006, NASA launched an instrument called Arcade to look for heat from the earliest stars. Instead, they found a loud, booming radio noise that was 6 times louder than anyone expected. It wasn't coming from any known source. It is an ambient roar that fills the entire universe. Scientists have no idea what is creating it. It isn't the cosmic microwave background, and it isn't the radio noise from distant galaxies. It is a constant, inexplicable sound that is moving through every square inch of space right now. Imagine being in a silent room and suddenly hearing a dull roar that you can't trace to a vent or a speaker. That is the situation for astrophysicists. The space roar is a reminder that there are fundamental layers of energy in the universe that we are completely deaf to, only catching glimpses when our instruments behave in ways we didn't predict. We also have to discuss the Tabby's star anomaly, also known as Boyajian's star. This star experienced irregular, massive dips in brightness, sometimes up to 22%. A planet passing in front of a star usually only dims it by 1%. The dips were not periodic, meaning they weren't caused by a single planet. Theories ranged from a swarm of comets to a Dyson swarm, a collection of massive solar panels built by an alien civilization, while the most recent data suggest it might be dust from a pulverized moon. The moving structures around that star are so large and so strange that no single natural model fits perfectly. Similar anomalies have since been found around other stars, leading to a new field of study looking for megastructures that might be moving through distant systems, blocking out the light of their suns. Now think about the Tabby star logic and apply it to our own neighborhood. There are dark asteroids, rocks with surfaces so black they reflect almost no light. We've discovered that some of these are active, meaning they are moving in ways that orbits shouldn't allow. They are changing speed or direction in tiny increments. This is usually due to the Yarkovsky effect, where sunlight heats one side of a rock and the resulting heat radiation acts as a tiny thruster. But in some cases, the movement is unexplained. We are tracking thousands of near-Earth objects, but it's the ones we see, the ones moving in the shadows, that keep planetary defense experts awake at night. One of these could be moving toward Earth right now, hidden by its own pitch-black composition, only to be revealed when it's far too late. There is an even bigger mystery on the horizon. Literally, the universe is expanding. We've known this since Hubble, but in the late 1990s, we discovered that the expansion is accelerating. Something is pushing everything away from everything else, faster and faster. We call it dark energy, but that's just a fancy name for we don't know what this is. Dark energy makes up about 68% of the universe, and it is moving the very fabric of space right now. It is as if the floor under your feet is stretching in every direction at once. If this continues, eventually every galaxy will be so far away from us that their light will never reach us. We will be alone in a dark, empty void. The force responsible for this movement is the greatest mystery in the history of science, and it is happening at the subatomic level every single millisecond. Let's zoom back into something truly bizarre that was recently spotted: the odd radio circles, or ORCs. These are giant rings of radio waves that are only visible at radio wavelength. They don't appear in optical, infrared, or X-ray telescopes. They are massive, hundreds of thousands of light years across, centered around distant galaxies. They look like shock waves moving through the intergalactic medium. Some think they are the result of gargantuan explosions at the centers of these galaxies, or perhaps the throat of a wormhole seen from one end. They are perfectly circular and incredibly rare. Whatever created them must involve energy levels that we have never observed directly. They are moving out from their host galaxies like ripples in a pond, and we are just now catching the first glimpses of them. And then we have the fast blue optical transients, or FBOTs. These are bursts of blue light that appear and disappear incredibly quickly. The most famous one was nicknamed the Cow. It was brighter than any supernova but faded in days rather than months. It was moving at a significant fraction of the speed of light. Some scientists think it was a failed supernova where the star collapsed directly into a black hole, and we were seeing the last gasp of light as the matter was swallowed. Others suspect it was a black hole shredding a white dwarf star. These events are so fast and so energetic that we usually miss them. They are happening in the sky right now, and our new automated survey telescopes are starting to catch them like a cosmic paparazzi. But let's talk about the movement of our own sun. We tend to think of the sun as stationary, with the planets just circling it. In reality, the sun is orbiting the center of the Milky Way at 450,000 miles per hour. But its path isn't a flat circle. It moves in an up and down wave pattern, bobbing through the galactic plane like a cork in water. Right now, we are moving up through the most densely packed part of the galaxy. This is significant because the more stars and dust we are near, the higher the chance of gravitational disturbances or even a nearby supernova affecting our atmosphere. We are currently moving into a region of space known as the local fluff, a cloud of interstellar gas that is slightly hotter and denser than the space around it. As we move into it, the sun's magnetic shield, the heliosphere, has to work harder to push back against the incoming particles. This cosmic weather change is happening right now, and it affects everything from satellite communications to the northern lights. Now consider the mystery of the Great Cold Spot. In the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang, there is a patch of space that is significantly colder than everything else. It shouldn't be there according to the standard model of cosmology. One of the more out-there explanations from theoretical physicists is that the cold spot is a scar from a collision. Not a collision between two stars or two galaxies, but between our universe and another bubble universe. If our universe is moving through a multiverse, We might be seeing the point of impact where another reality brushed against ours. It is a terrifying thought that something outside our universe is moving toward us or has already hit us, leaving a permanent mark on the sky. Let's bring it down to the interplanetary level. There is a strange phenomenon called the flyby anomaly. When we send spacecraft like Galileo or the Near Shoemaker probe past Earth to use our gravity as a slingshot, they often emerge with a tiny bit more speed than they should have. Only a few millimeters per second, but enough that it shows up in the data. Scientists have checked for atmospheric drag, tides, and relativity, but nothing explains that extra kick. It is as if the Earth's gravity is doing something we don't understand, or there is an invisible force moving our probes as they pass by. Is it an undiscovered property of gravity? Or is it something in the dark matter halo surrounding our planet? Every time we send a probe on a flyby, we look for this anomaly, and every time it appears, it reminds us that even our own planet has secrets. Speaking of dark matter, we are currently in the middle of a dark matter hurricane. A stream of dark matter, the remains of a dwarf galaxy that the Milky Way swallowed long ago, is currently blowing through our solar system. We can't see it, we can't feel it, but it's moving through you right now at 500 kilometers per second. Scientists are using this storm as a golden opportunity to try and detect dark matter particles using sophisticated underground sensors. If we can catch even one particle, we can solve the mystery of what makes up 25% of the universe. This invisible wind is a reminder that we are constantly moving through the ghosts of ancient galactic collisions. Now look at the moon. It's moving away from Earth at a rate of 1.5 inches per year. While we understand the tidal forces involved, recent laser measurements have shown tiny jitters in the moon's orbit that were unexplained for a while. Some of these are now attributed to moonquakes caused by the Earth's gravitational pull, which causes the moon to shrink and shrivel like a grape. But others believe that small, dark objects, mini-moons, are constantly entering and leaving Earth's orbit, tugging on our satellite in ways we are only just beginning to model. Right now, there is almost certainly a temporary moon, a small asteroid caught in a complex dance, moving around Earth before it eventually drifts back out into space. We only found the first of these a few years ago, and they are moving through our skies right now, completely undetected by the naked eye. There is also the Pioneer anomaly. The Pioneer 10 and 11 probes, launched in the 70s, started to slow down more than they should have as they left the solar system. For decades, this was a massive mystery. Was gravity changing at long distances? Was there an unseen force? Later, it was concluded that the heat from the probe's own internal batteries was radiating unevenly, pushing them back like a tiny thruster. While this specific mystery was solved, it highlighted how even the smallest, most invisible forces, like the glow of a battery, can significantly move an object in the vacuum of space. It makes you wonder how many other invisible forces are acting on the asteroids and planets around us that we've simply labeled as anomalies. Let's look at a new and exciting mystery: the Vela pulsar trail. The Vela pulsar is a rapidly spinning neutron star, the remnant of a star that exploded 10,000 years ago. It's moving through space like a cosmic bullet at incredibly high speeds. But trailing behind it is a jet of particles and X-rays that is over half a light-year long. What is weird is that the jet isn't straight, it's wonky and corkscrewed. This suggests that the pulsar is wobbling or interacting with an unseen medium in space that is much more complex than we thought. It's like a tracer bullet that reveals the hidden currents of the galaxy. By watching how this pulsar moves, we are learning that empty space is actually filled with magnetic fields and gas filaments that act like cosmic winds, blowing things off course in ways we never imagined. This brings us to the ultimate moving question. If so many things are moving in ways we can't explain, what does that mean for the safety of our planet? We are part of a cosmic dance that is much more chaotic than the Jakoshu would have you believe. We are moving through dark matter hurricanes, galactic gas clouds, and streams of interstellar interlopers. We are being pulled by a great attractor we can't see and pushed by a dark energy we don't understand. Scientists continue to look for explanations because they know that every unexplained movement is a clue to a new law of nature. Wait until we find the next Oumuamua. With the new Vera Rubin Observatory coming online, we expect to find one of these interstellar visitors every single month. When we start seeing how they move, if they all speed up, if they all tumble, if they all have strange shapes, We will finally know if Oumuamua was a cosmic fluke or a common part of the neighborhood. The objects moving through our sky right now carry the answers to where we came from and where the universe is going. We just have to be smart enough to read the data. Space is not a static place. It is a churning, moving, evolving storm of energy and matter. The fact that things are moving toward us right now with no explanation isn't a cause for fear, but a cause for wonder. It means there is still something left to discover. It means that the standard model is just the beginning. Whether it's a repeating signal from a distant galaxy or a dark asteroid hidden in the glare of the sun, the universe is reaching out to us, moving through our sensors and our lives, waiting for us to figure out the why. Imagine if we found out that the Great Attractor wasn't a mass, but a gateway. Imagine if the signals we are catching today are the first pages of a cosmic encyclopedia. The possibilities are as infinite as the void itself. We are on the verge of a new era of astronomy where anomaly becomes discovery. As we move through the stars, we are finding that we aren't just observers. We are participants in a grand, moving mystery that spans billions of years and trillions of miles. Every time you look up at the night sky, remember that the static stars you see are actually hurtling through space. The empty blackness is filled with moving particles, invisible winds, and gravitational ghosts. Something is moving toward Earth right now. Maybe a comet, maybe a signal, or maybe just a new understanding of reality. We are listening. We are watching, and we are waiting. The explanation is out there, moving toward us just as fast as we are moving toward it. Thank you for exploring these cosmic mysteries with me today. Space is the final frontier because it constantly moves the goalposts of what we think is possible. If you enjoyed this journey into the unexplained, perhaps look at the stars tonight and wonder which of those points of light is hiding the next great secret. Stay curious, keep looking up, and remember that even in the silence of space, something is always moving. I'll see you in the next one as we continue to tear back the curtain on the universe.